The Beijinger published the worst article I have ever seen, the most tone-deaf article, and they need to apologize and they need to fire their staff member, Irene Lee. The Beijinger, you need to fire Irene Lee. You need to publish a formal apology. You are wrong. The Beijinger said that COVID rules do not single out foreigners, which may technically be true, but the article started off with Irene Lee's story of going to fly a kite. So she went to a park and she was flying a kite, and the baoan, the security, came over and talked to her, and she got mad at him and he backed away. And she has taken that to be the epitome of proof that Chinese also get targeted the same way that foreigners do. He then went on to add that Chinese people are also told to wear a mask, just like foreigners are told to wear a mask, and that we are not being singled out in any way because she has been told to wear a mask. Finally, she just put the icing on the cake and said, you are not being singled out in any way. Chinese are also asked to follow the rules, which is just completely false. It's completely false. And there was a huge outroar of comments from foreigners about this entire issue, and I totally support them and understand them. And the Beijinger needs to fire Irene Liu and apologize. Point is that when you have rules that can be applied discriminately, like when you have a security guard at a mall, and he chooses who to check, he's gonna check a foreigner. So why is a Chinese lady trying to tell us that our experience doesn't exist? If she was a white man writing an article about how Asian discrimination does not exist, she would have been fired already. But instead, the Beijinger went into the comment section and they seem to enjoy the controversy. They wrote a ton of comments saying, well, this is just Irene's experience. And they were arguing with expats, and they even supported a guy who said that expats had a chip on their shoulder. People who commented against this had a chip on their shoulder, and I bet that was Irene herself, and she needs to be fired. And I'm just gonna go over some of these comments that people have left. The first comment talks about how so much of the systemic issues around using a health code exists. Like in Guangdong, I've heard in Shenzhen, that is simply impossible with a foreign passport. Does Irene mention this? Does she care? No, her response is clearly visible here. The author of this piece is 100% Chinese and has experienced the same things as you. How would you answer that? Our purpose here is not to invalidate your experience, but to say that there's no discrimination and nothing happens, and that because a Chinese person has also been asked, that there's no discrimination at all. The Beijinger. 4 steps. Number 1, unsubscribe from the Beijinger. Stop following them. Number 2, email contact@thebeijinger.com. Number 3, click like and share on this post. Let's get the word out and spread the word. And number 4, wait for the Beijinger to fire Irene Lee and apologize. Share, contact, and put pressure on them until they make things right, instead of just treating it like a way to be viral. The Beijinger, you are disgusting and you need to apologize. Irene, you are disgusting and you need to apologize.